What the hell? Alrighty. It's time. It is time. How long did I walk? Still no car. Just as I couldn't help but think that maybe the world perished, leaving only me behind, a car showed up. I sensed the car coming up behind me, so I turned around. I saw their headlights approaching me. Don't even remember what the fuck happened? This Akano flashback. She had just called the fucking unk, or the grandpa, and yeah. Should I stand in the middle of the street to stop the car? It was so dark, I didn't think the car would notice if I just waved at it. But if I were to stand in the middle of the street, I could get run over. While I thought the car was getting closer and closer, when I made the phone call, I panicked and didn't know what to say. So with this car, I'd have to think very carefully. If I couldn't think of anything, then I would just should just let the car go. With those thoughts vaguely on my mind, I was incredibly surprised when the car slammed the brakes with a screech and came to a stop. Maybe I wasn't all there after that miraculous experience of lightning strike near me. I had half lost my mind in those dark woods, so I probably wasn't thinking very straight. Because the car had stopped after recognizing me. In other words, the driver knew who I was. And the only people in the area who would recognize me were... Suddenly a chill ran through my whole body. I started to dash away. I heard a voice calling after me. I no longer had strength to run. My feet were trembling and I couldn't make them cooperate. I realized then that I shouldn't have sat down in the telephone booth. That was why I couldn't keep running. I was suddenly grabbed from behind, the collar of my clothes almost choking me. I heard fabric being ripped. I fell in a puddle and a staff member got on top of me. This time, his finger wasn't in my mouth. All I could do was struggle. And as I did so, I remembered all the scary stories Erica and the others told me. All the torture the child who was caught had to endure. The drowned ducky punishment, the mashed caterpillar punishment, and the splayed piggy punishment. The names of those eerie-sounding punishments came to my mind. I screamed and struggled with all my might, but it was too late. I was shoved into the back seat of the car. Why couldn't they just let me go? Simple. They didn't want me talking about them to anybody. The staff were yelling and screaming while chasing me, but once we were in the car, they went silent. It was like the Grim Reaper had come to get me. Whether I liked it or not, I had to come to terms with the fact that my luck had run out. But, I had called Takano-sensei, so I knew he would come get me. I didn't know when that would be, but I knew it would happen someday. So I wanted to live. I would be saved if I lived. I couldn't even imagine the kind of punishment that was waiting for me. But even so, I said to myself, I have to live. I've already found the light at the end of the tunnel. All I had to do was endure until I reached it. The car stopped. We had arrived at the front gate of the orphanage. The two staff members grabbed my shoulders so I wouldn't run. My shoulders were very skinny, so it hurt a lot. I was scared of what I would have to go through. We went through the door and I was finally sheltered from the rain. In a way, I wasn't sheltered at all though. It was the middle of the night and long past time to turn all the lights off. The orphanage should have been quiet. But I heard a noise. It was a strange noise. The noise of a shower. Oh my god, they're gonna waterboard her. The noise of metal objects crashing into each other. Also, the staff's yelling and screaming. A chill went down my spine. What could I possibly write down to fully describe this fear? A staff member knocked on the door of the storage room and the door opened. The moment it did, an angry roar issued from inside. The sight leapt into my eyes. I couldn't completely take in the bizarre scene before me. Two staff members were hitting a mat with bamboo swords while yelling violently. It was a mat used in, you know, the one you use when you do gymnastics. Well, why was it rolled up like that? The rolled up mat was tied with a string and was standing up in the corner. The staff members kept hitting it. Usually words are said to a person. But why were they yelling at a rolled up mat? The way they were hitting and yelling at it, it was as if they'd gone mad. But wait, I could see something sticking out the top of the rolled up mat. It was... Let me see. Whose shoes were those? All of a sudden, I froze and couldn't think anymore. One man stood in front of me. The man's pinky finger was wrapped in bandages. My eyes moved upwards from his pinky finger and met with his. The beast's eyes met mine, peering in with intent to devour me. I squeezed out a voiceless scream. My voice didn't come out, so it was more like a goldfish opening and closing its mouth. The beast stuck his little finger in front of me and roared. I couldn't tell if it was the word or a meaningless shriek, but I was certain it was something abusive. I was scared. I didn't want to die. I wanted to live. I knew that Dr. Takano would show up to save me. That was why I had to live and submit myself to the fear. I'm sorry. Ah. The hand with the bandages grabbed my hair and dragged me along. All I could do was apologize and beg for forgiveness while hoping the beast had even a tiny bit of mercy in him. Oh, my bad. Hang on. We're usually up here for there we go. I was like a broken, apologizing doll. A mad doll that kept muttering apologies until its key wound down. I was their toy, shedding tears, coughing blood, and apologizing in place of clicking gears. I could see into the shower room while he dragged me along. The door was open and I heard wailing from inside. What I saw was very strange. There was a locker on its side in the shower. What an odd sight. A locker was taking a shower sideways. What the hell, bro? These staff are fucking crazy. They put the kid in the locker, put it sideways, and fucking had the shower beating down on it. I never even imagined anything like it before. The locker was taking a cold shower while two staff members hit it with bamboo swords. That explained the metallic noise I heard before. The beast didn't want me to see that. He pulled my hair violently and twisted my neck so that I looked in the opposite direction. Then I realized he didn't do that to stop me from watching the shower. He did it to make me look at something else. I saw a window in a courtyard. Usually it was too dark to see anything, but the lights were on and the courtyard was very bright. Then I saw it. Inside of the hen house, I saw XXXX. What is that? XXXX and XXXX and XXXX? That hair was Eriko's. XXXXXXXX? But why was she XXXX? That was far too XXXX. Wah! I'm sorry. Ah! I don't want to die. I know Dr. Takano is coming to save me. I know he is coming. I was taken to the staff bathroom. It stunk of ammonia. I saw an XXXX, which just doesn't fit in a bathroom. Why was this in the bathroom, I thought? He's not planning to XXXX me with XXXX, is he? No way, no. I can barely hear the voice, bro. The music's so loud. I'm sorry. I'll never do it again. I'll never do everything you tell me. I'll do everything you tell me to do. I promise. I really do. Please spare me. Please spare me from XXXX. No, that hurts. No. No. All right. Another chance. Experience a memory of punishment. Okay. Still no tips. How long have I been crying? I don't even know how long I've been comforted like this. My grandfather's hand is on my cheek to comfort me. I'm holding his hand lovingly and pressing my cheek against it. My grandfather put his other hand on my head. The warmth of his palms gradually calmed me down. Piles of documents were all around me. It was a mistake to sort through data while lying on a fluffy carpet. I must have fallen asleep. and had a terrible dream.
うつ伏せに寝ると胸が苦しくて悪い夢を見やすいんだよ。
Is that true?
もうこんな時間だ。美代子は部屋に帰って寝なさい。
全然平気。
Yes? Nah, I don't.
居眠りしちゃってたから眠気がなくなっちゃった。もうすぐで終わるの。だから終わらせちゃうね。
明日も学校がある。もう寝ないとまた先生にあくびを怒られてしまうよ。
I've been going to bed late recently. Because of that, I yawned a lot at school. My teacher must have written a note to my
大
grandfather.
丈夫。ちゃんと終わったら寝る。だから続きをさせて。それにおじいちゃんも私に構ってちゃダメ。早く書斎に戻って論文の続きを書くの。
The day for him to present his findings is approaching. He's been working so hard, devoting himself to his research, but there's unfortunately a limit to what an individual can do. He needs a collaborator in order to go further with his research. He has to explain that his investigation could be key to solving the mysteries of human behavior and make people understand just how important his work is. But his research is about a very complicated subject. So he couldn't seek assistance from just anyone. Someone will be able to help him one day. Believing that, my grandfather earnestly continued his research. I want to help him more, but all I can do is sort through his data and tidy up his materials. I also assist him around the house so he can concentrate more on his research. He also tells me how helpful I am, but that isn't enough for me. I will study hard, get into a good college, and learn many things so I can actually be of assistance to his research. I'm a mediocre student right now, and I don't particularly like school, but I will do it. I want to help my grandfather. If his heart were to fail and he couldn't continue his research, I wouldn't hesitate to cut open my chest and offer my heart up for him. If he needs lungs, I'll give him my lungs. If any of his organs fail, I'll give him mine. There's nothing strange about those feelings. They're perfectly normal ones. For if he had found me even a day later, I might not even be alive. Or even if I lived, it would be either without my body intact or with my body lost to me. In other words, I'm alive because my grandfather came to save me. If he hadn't rushed to find me, I wouldn't be here. So I won't hesitate to give up my life for him. Moreover, I'd be more than happy to do that. Even though I want to be with him forever, human lives aren't immortal. Just like how my parents died, it happens so suddenly, without any warning. I will never heal from my parents' death. But now that I have my grandfather, I'm not sad. However, his existence isn't eternal either. He may disappear all of a sudden for any unexpected reason, just like my parents. That's why I wish to be part of him. That way, no matter what happens, we will be together forever. I don't want to be alone ever again. I want to be with my grandfather forever. I want to help him forever.
わかった。じゃあこの資料の整理が終わったらちゃんと寝るんだよ。約束。
約束。
We pinky promised after that. We smiled at each other and my grandfather went back to his study. The dried up tears are making my cheek itch. Alright, hold up, chat. Let me look at something real quick. You missed me ending chapter 7? Bro, that was a long ass time ago, my man. Chapter 7 was a long ass time ago. Okay, I'm good. I headed to the bathroom to wash my face and brush my teeth. I looked at my face in the mirror. None of my grandfather's features are recognizable on my face. Of course they aren't. We are not related. He must have a family too, but I've never heard about them. He doesn't seem to want to talk about that subject, so I don't ever ask him about it. I don't care if he has real grandchildren or not. Even if I'm not related to him, I'm a granddaughter of Hifumi Takano. I'm not just a granddaughter either. I want to be more than that. I don't want a parent and child relationship nor a lover's relationship, nothing like that. I want something more certain that binds our souls, something that not even a tragedy can destroy. I am Miyoko Takano, Hifumi Takano's granddaughter. Maybe it should be Mio instead. That's what my grandfather sometimes calls me. I want to succeed a Hifumi's spirit. Since his name counts from 1 to 3, I want us to share that 3 and be the 4th in his line. Today, my name changes. I wrote that new name in the mirror. Mio Takano. What a wonderful name for the new me. Yo, we still haven't heard the damn intro song.
大佐殿
Colonel, sir.
ご無沙汰
Good to see you again. Takano-kun.
だからもう
Come
大
on,
様
no
なしだ
more
よ
Colonel stuff. No, no.
それに
I was
具合を
worried when I
悪く
heard
し
you
た
were
とでも
ill. You sure look great now. My grandfather always told me he doesn't have any friends. He used to tell me everyone died in the war. But that's not true. He has one very close friend. This is him. He's an elderly man my grandfather calls Colonel Koizumi. I don't know exactly where they met, but every time they get together, all they talk about is the military and the war. So I guess that's where they met.
ミオちゃん
Look
も
at you,
大きく
Mio-chan.
今
How
身
tall
長
are you now? Okay, like, did they just run out of budget for fucking voice acting? Like, why gotta read more? We just had a physical checkup the other day, and I think I've grown 2 centimeters. That's wonderful. Good girl. Make sure you eat well, play a lot, and grow big and healthy. I envy you, Takano-kun, for having such a cute granddaughter. This guy was a freak. Mr. Koizumi knows that my grandfather and I aren't related, but he always calls me his granddaughter. That makes me very happy, so I poured a little more black tea in his cup. There is voice acting? Wait, did my audio split just randomly break? Oh my god, it did. Jesus Christ. Bro, I thought it was muted. I was like, where? There's no sound. No wonder. The fucking audio split broke. I want to stay and listen to them talk, but I guess my grandfather doesn't want me to hear stories of the war, so he always makes me leave. I left before I was told to. What is this? Yeah, Kashima, you do realize my time would have been faster, right? I literally sat around, like, spinning in place to, like, relish my victory. So, I probably would have beaten your time, just saying. So... I just headed to the other side of this huge living room instead. Although I'm not right by them, I can still sit on a sofa and listen to their conversation. And if they need something, I can come help them right away. I try to earn points that way to prove I'm useful. I sat on a sofa away from them and started reading an encyclopedia. While doing that, I tried to listen to the conversation.
それはよかった。教授たちは都合が合えば再来週の日曜日にも早速来たいって言ってくれたよ。本当ですか？ありがとうございます、小泉さん。いやいやいやいや。高野くんが書いたレポート
Also,
が
fuck you, Kashima. No shit, it's easy to do it after I showed you all the shortcuts, okay? Like, come on. Like, no shit. Like, I could just go back and fucking min-max it myself, okay? Like, it's easy to do after someone else, you watch someone else do it, alright? Like, come on.
かなり関心を持ってくれてね。
Trust me, if I watched someone and then did it, I would have fucking had a crazy fast time early too.
ノーベル賞ものの研究になるかもしれないと。
You're not hitting a better PB than him? I will be, alright? Watch me later, alright? Not today, but next time I do it, fucking bop.
ノーベル賞だなんてそんな。いや、お言葉だけでも恐縮です。
My grandfather laughed. Since he laughed so cheerfully, something great must have happened. Mr. Koizumi must have shown the society the essay my grandfather was about to announce and gauged their reactions. And supposedly they found it extremely interesting. That means they recognize the value of my grandfather's research. That makes me happy too.
しかし、いつも心配なのは、君自身がひなみ沢症候群に感染してしまってやしないかということだね。君が自分の首をかきむしるようなことがないよう。ひょっとすると、私もすでに感染しているかもしれませんな。でも、ひなみ沢症候群は普通に生活する分には決して危険な病気ではないのです。村人たちがお社様信仰を作り出し、厳しい戒律で自らを縛った頃は
かなり危険な病気だったかもしれない。でも時間とともにそれは薄まり、今ではよっぽどのことがない限り発症することはないようです。
あれだけの発症例があったのに。
ひなみ沢症候群の発症には特に精神の状態が重要なのです。普通に心穏やかに生活している分には何にも悪さをしない病気なのです。
戦争という異常な状況下で精神が追い詰められた時のみ発症する。
そうです。なーに恐れることなどないの
What's
ですよ。
happening? Just two unks fucking talking.
初期の自覚症状はうつ状態に似た疑心暗鬼。それを自覚したら高野式呼吸法などにより心身のリラックスを図り、かつ9時間以上の睡眠を1週間以上とる。これで発症など未然に防げてしまうのです。実際私の指導下にあったひなみ沢出身兵士は一人も開始しませんでしたぞ。
As he talks, grandfather started demonstrating the Takano breathing method and a bizarre exercise technique. According to him, this technique relaxes the body and lets blood and lymphatic fluid flow smoothly. As a result, you relax emotionally too. But the movement involved in the technique is so weird, I had to look away because my grandfather looked so silly. That was the one thing about his research that I felt bad about. Oh, grandfather asked me to do this exercise too. I don't want to make him sad, so I do it when instructed.
ならばいいんだがね。研究対象が元で死に至ってる医学者は過去にもたくさんいる。君も気をつけての。
だが研究に準じた彼らの偉業は死後も揺るがない。研究者としては
Who the fuck is Noguchi?
本懐でしたでしょうな。
Grandfather tells me about Hideo Noguchi often. He was born as the son of a poor farmer, but he studied hard and became a doctor. However, he was mistreated because of his background, so he left Japan. He moved to the United States. There he made many accomplishments as a researcher. He discovered a vaccine for yellow fever. Grandfather's background is somewhat similar to his. So he often said that of all researchers, he admired him the most. Hideo Noguchi died in North Africa. While he discovered a vaccine for yellow fever, he heard it wasn't effective on yellow fever in Africa, North Africa. He went there to research it, came down with the disease and died. A researcher losing his life for his research. Sometimes that is a test of a researcher's courage. In that sense, grandfather is very brave to visit Himizawa himself to gather information. He himself says he may already be infected, although my grandfather estimates from ancient texts that the Himizawa syndrome was only a menace centuries ago. Now it's no different from the usual bacteria that share a symbiosis with humans. Many people became ill with the disease during the war, but that was because they were in an extremely abnormal situation. In today's peaceful environment, it's almost impossible for a person to develop symptoms. He sounds very optimistic, but he never brought me with him to Inamizawa, so maybe he isn't as optimistic as all that. However, since I live with him, there's a possibility that I'm already infected as well. But I'm not worried at all. That's because my grandfather has taught me that as long as I maintain myself physically and emotionally, I won't develop any symptoms. I know all the horrible terminal symptoms of Hinamizawa syndrome, but I'm not overly fearful of them. Grandfather is enjoying his conversation with Mr. Koizumi. That's understandable. Mr. Koizumi told him some people showed great interest in his report. They even want to come over on Sunday the week after next to meet and talk to him directly. With the rapid advance of modern medicine, unexplored frontiers are steadily dwindling. Was it possible that Hinamizawa syndrome my grandfather discovered might be a new continent in the field? It'll be decided in 2 weeks. It sounds like there will be more than one person coming, and it also sounds like there are all important people in the society. They're all rich and famous, yet they aren't satisfied with just that. They all want to be involved with something that's important, or that's worth an international award. This is a chance to gain assistance and sponsorship at the same
で
time.
は再来週。私も様子を見に来ます。
Oh,
ぜひ頑張ってください。
これもすべて小泉さんのおかげです。本当にありがとうございます。
それは無事賛同者を集められてからにしましょう。その折にはぜひ秘蔵のワインを開けて乾杯といきましょうの。
Sabo got 22 seconds? Also, why is my name on your fucking friends list 411, you motherfucker? You can why'd you rename me? That was the last of the conversation. My grandfather kept his head bowed until Mr. Koizumi was gone. It sounded like he set up this great chance for my grandfather. So I bowed my head just like
聞
him.
いてたかい？ようやくチャンスが巡ってきたよ。私のレポートに関心を持ってくれる人が現れたのだ。
聞いてたよ。これでおじいちゃんの研究に協力してくれる人やお金を出してくれる人が現れるんだね。
まだそうと決まったわけじゃないさ。
Although he didn't want to admit it, he had a good feeling about it. The research he had conducted all alone was finally about to gain recognition.
再来週の日曜日なの？
忙しくなるぞ。プレゼンテーションで第一印象のすべてが決まる。資料を読みやすく作り直したり、いや、人前できちんと説明できるよう少し練習をした方がいいかもしれない。とにかく手落ちがないようにしっかりやらないとな。
資料の作り直しは大事だね。おじいちゃんの字は読みにくいから少し大きめに書いた方が。
とにかく忙しくなるぞ。再来週か。うかうかしていたらあっという間だ。
そうだね。私もお手伝いするよ。ホルマリンの容器とかのホコリも拭き取らないとね。あと丸まった資料の反りを直さないと。絨毯の下に敷いて一晩も置いたら治るかな。
Do you think leaving them laid out under the rug overnight would fix it?
やらなければならないことは山ほどだな。ミオ、手伝ってくれるかい？
もちろん。学校休んでお手伝いする。
それはいかん。
We laughed together, thrust our fists into the air, and motivated ourselves to work hard toward the week after next. Since that day, my grandfather spent more time in his study. It's not easy to create a report that you're going to show other people. Copying machines hadn't been invented back then, so everything had to be handwritten. He knows it's somewhere, but he just can't remember where he put the data he needs. As for me, I have to make sure I have enough guest cups to serve tea, so I'm counting them. Do I have enough tea leaves? Maybe I should get something to go with tea. My grandfather knows nothing about these things. There's a whole list of chores to do. I need to clean the window so the room will be bright. What else? The 2 weeks pass quickly while we busy ourselves getting things done. What a wonderful 2 weeks it is. I can finally feel that I'm actually doing something to help my grandfather with his research. I hope the day of the meeting will be a memorable one for my grandfather. I hope that day will be a beautiful and clear one. Just as I wish, the day is beautiful. Evening. My grandfather, having dressed formally, paced around his study nervously. I'm also in a beautiful dress. I've only worn it once before at my piano recital. But I'm not nervous like my grandfather. His silly nervousness actually relaxes me. Are they here yet? Grandfather looked out the window. Then a black car stopped in front of the gate. Back then, a car was a luxury item. I don't think I had even one classmate whose family owned a car. So it only makes sense that the men coming out of the car looked respectable. Grandfather and I ran out to welcome them.
高野と申します。今日は本当にようこそ。
お召し物をお預かりします。
I greeted them and filled the role we decided ahead of time. Though my being relaxed by my grandfather's silliness ended at that point. Both my grandfather and I were stiff with anxiety as we greeted them now that the moment was here.
はじめまして先生。そしてはじめましてお嬢さん。いえ、お孫さんですかな。
孫です。ミオ、ご挨拶なさい。
はじめまして。高野美代と申します。
賢そうな子ですね。本日は小泉先生の代理で参りました。小泉先生は急な用事が入ってしまい、そのこと大変残念がっておりました。
そうです。それは残念です。
The person who set up everything isn't here. My grandfather even had his treasured wine ready just as they promised 2 weeks ago.
皆さん、 ご紹介いたします。こちらは高野一二三先生です。高野先生は戦時中満州の貿易研究所におられ、伝染病予防分野の第一人者として活躍されておりました。また戦地での栄養失調、食糧難対策として合成食品や合成種の研究に特に顕著な功績を残されました。
よろしく。
はじめまして。
お邪魔いたします。
The men are even older than my grandfather. They take off their hats one at a time to greet him. Their beards, expensive looking canes, and glasses tell me they are very high up in society. Grandfather bows to each one of them.
それでは皆さん、どうぞ書斎へ。誇り臭い場所で大変恐縮です。どうぞこちらへ。みよ、皆さんにお茶の準備を。
はい。
I wasn't nervous at all earlier, but now I think I'm the most nervous one. I'm the one making the presentation. I'm not the one making the presentation. I'm not the one being evaluated, so it's ridiculous that I'm feeling so nervous. I don't know if I should use that as my excuse, but I was so nervous that I knocked over the thermos I had filled to the brim with hot water and ruined the black tea I had chosen specifically for this day. I apologized to my grandfather and started to boil water again. I just needed enough for the guests. By the time I had cups of tea and cookie ready, grandfather's presentation was a key part.
血管もしくはリンパ管を破って脊髄へ侵入し、髄液を通って脳内に至るものと思われます。また死後の解剖結果、脳炎を起こしたものを複数件確認しています。類似の症状をもたらすウイルスは過去の事例を紐解いても数種類あり、その中でも代表的なものは
Grandfather said, walking between samples in formalin jars, pointing to several as he gave his explanation. There are over 100 formalin jars in here with parts of brains in them. They were all very dusty, so I spent a few days cleaning them. I'm rather proud to see the sparkling jars all lined up like
ただ
this.
し、これらのウイルスが引き起こす症状は多岐にわたります。
On the other hand, his symptoms of Higurashi syndrome are very specific to that disease.
それが喉を自らかきむしる自傷行為だとおっしゃるのですね。
さようです。これについては死亡直前を知る兵士たちの目撃情報から分かっています。この自傷行為はこれまでに知られてきたどのような病状にもありません。ひなみ沢症候群独自のものです。また末期患者にしか見られない行為であることから、これは一部の感染症に見られるのと同じエクソダスであると考えられます。感染者の体内で十分に成長し、幼虫を繁殖させた後、ウイルスは体外へ脱出し、次なる感染者を探すのです。
では、その血液にはウイルスもしくは陽性が満たされているわけであり、貿易の知識のない現地の兵士がそれに触れていたならば、彼らも感染していた可能性があるわけです。にもかかわらず、ひなみ沢出身者以外の兵士に感染例がないことをどうお考えですか？
これについては潜伏期間その他を疑ったのですが、ひなみ沢という地域だけに限定していることから考え、現地の特殊な気候その他があると考えられます。また辞書で詳しく取り上げておりますが、ひなみ沢の古い土着の信仰から考え、
ありえないですよ、高野先生。ウイルスに社会性があるなど聞いたこともない。
いえ、ですからこれこそがひなみ沢症候群の画期的な発見の一つでありまして。
Oh, he's kind of getting flamed. The elderly gentlemen mumbled to each other while pointing at the data. With that, I finally realized things aren't going too well.
高野先生のご考説を賜りながら、先の資料を拝見させていただきました。まず申し上げて、脳内に潜伏したウイルスが人間の思想をコントロールするなど、全くもってありえないことです。
Oh, they haven't played Last of Us.
人間の思考は極めて高度な神の芸術ともいえる脳で作られます。また思想というものは人間の思考の中でも非常に上位のものであり、現在の地球上においては人間にのみ許された高度な能力です。それに介在するウイルスがいるなど考えられませんよ。
同感です。思想とはつまり個より全体を優先した考え方とも言えます。つまり社会性を維持する最前提条件なわけですな。それが遺伝子を残すこと以上の欲求を持たないウイルスごときに宿るわけがない。生物学的にも言ってウイルス性の微細な生命体に社会性、新社会性が発見されたことは一度たりともありません。
しかし脳内の生命体が宿主の行動に干渉するケースは非常に多く報告されており、
高野先生は一つ誤解をされていますな。ウイルスが宿主の行動を支配する原理は常に生殖繁殖のためという極めて原始的理念に基づくものだけです。
Alter behavior is simply a means to let their host be eaten by a better host in order to change hosts.
ハリガネムシに寄生されたバッタの受水自殺がいい例ですな。ハリガネムシは十分に成長すると水生となります。その際、宿主であるバッタを水辺へ誘導して溺死させ、その体内から水中へ脱出する。
その通りです。私はひなみ沢症候群における自殺的な喉のかきむしりもそれに当たると考えまして。
For example, guinea worms escape the body by having a host scratch the affected area.
そうです。すべてのウイルスの目的は繁殖のため。そんな存在が神の芸術ともいえる脳に潜伏し、いやいや、潜伏すること自体は別におかしいことではない。寄生し、人間の思想に影響を及ぼすなんて、はっきり申し上げて妄言です。いや、危険思想と言ってもいい。
南沢という村が閉鎖的文化から独自の信仰を生み出したこと自体はそう不思議には思いません。日本各地に散見するよくあるケースです。だとしたら日本中のそれらの文化は全てウイルスによるものなのですか？それらは文化的なものであってひなみ沢の件に限ってはウイルスによるもの。その区別をどう立証されたのですか？
いえ、ですから現地で死亡したひなみ沢出身兵士の解剖の結果からそうだと信じるに足る様々な。
失礼だが高野先生、
Oh my god, bro's getting cooked.
信じるに足る臨床データだと語るには少々先生の収集されたケースは少なすぎます。しかもご自身で言われた。
ですから次の章で説明しますように、ひなみ沢症候群は疑心暗鬼と緊張、ストレスなどによる微妙なバランスが崩壊した時に、
喉をかきむしるという特徴的かつ異常な自傷行為が複数件あったならば、何かの共通性があるに違いないと疑われるのもユニークかとは思います。ですが、だからこそ当てにならないのです。戦地という異常な状況下でたまたまレアなケースが重なっただけのことなんです。高野先生は重なった偶然を見てゲシュタルト的な構成主義にとらわれ、法則性を見つけたように錯覚してしまったのではないかと考えます。
そうでないことを証明するにはひなみ沢症候群の感染者に対する膨大な臨床データが必要です。ですが倫理的に考えてこりゃ、
出身者がタタリだと了解する行為はどちらかというと文化依存症候群の範疇です。それに対しウイルスによる意識支配を重ねられることは失礼だが、高野先生はユニークなひなみ沢の信仰に浸水し、ご自身が文化依存症候群に取り込まれてしまっているのではないかと考え、
This one motherfucker needs to raise his volume like 50%, man.
我々も日々気をつけております。
The more they talk, the paler my grandfather's face becomes. I was just stunned myself. We've never heard of parasites like that. That's impossible. It was just a coincidence that there isn't enough data. The talk goes on and on every time grandfather says something, they dismiss it like that. Before I knew it, my grandfather could only hold his silence before their criticisms.
だがどんな発見も高野先生の研究もそのうちの当時どんなにバカバカしいと思われてその後真実が解き明かされ評価を
私は皆さんに比べれば素人です。個人の研究家に過ぎず、一流大の出でもなければ学閥にも属していません。もちろん権威や研究所へのコネクションもありません。故に個人の研究ではこの程度のことまでしか調べられないのです。果たしてひなみ沢将校、それとも皆さんがおっしゃられるように私の妄想に過ぎないのか、それを確かめるためにお力添えをいただくことはできませんでしょうか。
もちろんこれが世紀の大発見になるならば、何しろ人間の文化や思想は全てナノ単位の脳内生命体の意志によるもので、前頭葉は彼らを住まわせるだけの場所に過ぎないという。
ひなみ沢症候群が存在し、その感染者が感染によって地球上に存在する全ての宗教、いや文化国境さえもウイルスで説明できるかもしれないんですからな。
その話の壮大さはとてもユニークです。高野先生は我々のような人間にひっそりと論文を読ませるより、それで本を書かれて一般大衆に発表された方がよろしいでしょうな。
Grandfather looks at the ground, his fists trembling a little. But their words were far too cruel. I don't know anything about academics, I'm just a little girl. I don't know exactly what they're talking about, but Grandfather worked so hard by himself until today. But to prove his research and delve further into it, he needs sponsors. Yet those sponsors are casting him away, calling his research a delusion. That's outrageous. Like asking which came first, the chicken or the egg. Besides, if his research was at the level those cheeky men want to see, he wouldn't need their help. But they're saying that they can't help him unless they see some results that are beyond the level of private research. In any field, doesn't research always start out with just a little idea? If you can prove its existence beforehand, then what's the point of researching it to begin with? If a wild idea can't be the subject of research, how did we gain any knowledge at all? But never mind that. When Mr. Koizumi came 2 weeks ago, didn't he say they were really interested in his research? What's going on? This is a complete opposite of what he said.
はい。非常に興味深い研究だと思っております。脳はまだまだ未知の領域です。
この高野氏の論文は非常にユニークです。特に優生学的見地からは、
人は神の子などでは人も進化の洗礼を受けた動物に過ぎません。ならばダーウィンに従い、各地の環境に応じて進化には差が出てくる。つまり人類にはすでに優劣があるのです。国家としていかに優秀な血統を守り、より良い遺伝子を未来に残せるか、これを国策として掲げ研究せねば、来世紀において人類は致命的な序列を与えられることになるでしょう。
There are definitely some fucking thought processes.
高野氏の研究は単なる感染症の域を超えるだけの
These
ポ
guys are
テ
into
ンシャルを
eugenics,
秘めてい
bro.
ると言えるでしょうな。
次世代に残すべきでない劣悪な人間が、もし遺伝子によるものでなく感染症によるものであると解明できたなら、外科的手段によって構成が
Yo, these motherfuckers would be like BFFs with Hitler.
結果、我が国は
What the hell are they
素晴らしい人間を残すことができるでしょう。
Surgically fix inferior people? What the hell?
優生学的見地から高野氏の研究は早急に取り組まれるべきです。
これは世紀の大発見になる可能性がありますぞ。もし感染症疾患と個人の資質の因果関係が立証できれば。
小泉先生、この度の貴重な機会に深く感謝いたします。
This is adult Takono time now, right? So this is like 19, probably like 70 or something?
高野くんは昔から一途で熱心な男での。だが人付き合いが下手くそでな。
Oh wait, no, never mind. This is just Oh, this is
ずっと一人で研究してきたのだ。
no. This is, I guess, we're flashing over to Koizumi's POV.
だが一人でできる限界を迎え、
あ
ようやく人に助けを求めることを覚えたんだな。どうか先生方、高野くんの話に耳
This
を
is
傾け
Koizumi's
てやってくださ
POV
い。
before the meeting.
恐れ多いですよ先生。むしろこの度のご縁にこちらが。
私どもとしてはもう協力させていただくことは前提です。むしろ学会での縄張り調整の方が今後の急務ですな。
このようなユニークな研究をこの年になってこのような貴重な幸運
There's
に
a
恵
knock
ま
on
れ
the
たの
door.
を
The
感
sliding
謝
door
したいで
opened
す
and the owner peeked in. These guys might just be sucking his balls, bro. Like he's sucking him off. Glazers because he's powerful.
失礼いたします。お客様がお見えになっておりますが、おと
客？はて、どちら様ですかの？
His face turned pale all of a sudden.
いやいやいや、私もお迎えに上がりま
Two
す。
pairs of footsteps reached the door.
先生、このようなところへお越しいただけるとは。
小泉君、今日はちとどうしても君にしておきたい話があってな。
Oh, here it comes.
このよう
This is
なとこ
probably
ろへ
the
お
guy
越しいただけるとは。
who cut it off.
はい。何でもおっしゃってください。
The old man, known as Koizumi, was not someone whose status could be taken lightly. Although he had retired, he was still powerful enough to wield great influence as a fixer. So from his meek attitude, it was easy to figure out what kind of person this man must be. The old man held onto his bodyguard's shoulder as he walked. He had an expensive-looking cane in his other hand. He couldn't even walk on his own because of his old age, but his intense, commanding presence hadn't declined one bit.
関東直入に言う君の友人の研究な。
Yep, there you go.
はと。
小泉君、ひなみ沢症候群は墓場までもってあれに手をつけちゃなら。あれを調べるとな、やぶをつついて蛇をしかも太くてでかい蛇をな。
Oh shit, this guy was a knower.
君がこのままガブリとやられる。ちょいと君の小耳に入れてやろうと思って、それの先生方にはどうだ、ちょいと向こうの部屋でわしと飲まんか。
はい。お供させていただきます。
Koizumi realized that he was being pressured. He didn't know which direction it was coming from, but clearly some authorities weren't comfortable with the research on Hinamizawa syndrome and were trying to stop him from supporting it.
小泉君、わかっているかね？この研究はパンドラの箱だということを。
Thank God we don't have to listen to that Marco Polo shit again.
全くのよまいごとですな。本日私どもがお邪魔したのは、資料になかったそれ以上の客観的何かが開示されるかもしれないことを期待したからです。本来ならば本日お邪魔するにも値しない内容だったのを、小泉先生たっての願いということで義理を尽くさせていただいたまでです。
徒労ではありましたが来て正解でした。
Oh my God, damn, they're cooking his
あ
ass.
なたに適切なアドバイスをすることができるのですから。あなたは余生をこんなことに費やされるくらいなら盆栽でも始めなさい。いいですぞ、盆栽は。
同感です。
What the hell?
こんな書斎にホルマリンの瓶を並べていても健康なだけですな。
しかし実にユニークな内容でした。あなたさえよければ出版社の社長を紹介しますよ。 大衆にはこのくらいの刺激があった方がウケるでしょうからな。
They aren't even trying to hide their hostility. They're laughing at my grandfather, denouncing him, and saying things to denigrate not only his research, but his personality as well. If they're simply trying to provoke him, any response would just be giving them what they want. Even in this very moment, grandfather tried to remain a noble researcher and a proud human being. He's no longer trembling. On the contrary, he apologized to them for taking up their time, told them he had no intention of keeping them any longer.
この論文はお返ししますよ。もっとも、これを論文と呼んでいいなら、学会もどれだけ気楽なこ
What
と
the
か。
fuck? One of the elderly gentlemen tossed it back to him. Grandfather couldn't catch it in time. The article he worked so hard on fell onto the floor and the papers scattered all over on the carpet. The elderly gentleman left the study without even apologizing for it. Everyone else followed suit. As they left, they trod all over my grandfather's article. It looked like grandfather's expression didn't change, but I could see it warping. I could see the wall of research grandfather bore, crunching and warping sadly. I jumped. I grabbed onto the elderly gentleman's leg. I don't hate him. If I were asked if I hated him or not, the answer would be yes, but that's not the point here. What I really can't stand is this foot stepping all over my grandfather's article. I just want to move the foot that's standing on his papers, but the foot doesn't move no matter how hard I push or pull, as if it's rooted to the floor. I felt someone grabbing me from behind. It was my grandfather.
孫が失礼をいたしました。さあどうぞこのままで結構で
And
す。
watch him be like, yo, maybe your granddaughter got Hinamizawa syndrome.
後片付けは私どもの方でします。
My screams don't mean a thing to them. They completely ignored my screams. They continued to step on the papers and left the study. Only my grandfather and I remain in there now. My grandfather is still grabbing the back of my collar. I don't have any words left to say, only cries. My grandfather is determined not to show any emotion. He doesn't even open his mouth. So I have to cry for him. Just then, my grandfather slapped me in the face. That startled me. I'm crying for him, so why did he slap me? Then I understood. Grandfather is the one who wants to cry, but he's enduring, so I shouldn't cry either. I wiped my eyes and my runny nose, and I silently turned my eyes to the papers on the carpet, just like my grandfather.
ごめんな、ミオ。
I don't understand why he's apologizing. I thought he was going to complain about their rudeness.
もっと私がしっかり研究できていればこんなことにはならなかった。せっかく今日までミオがあれだけお手伝いをしてくれたのにそれを無駄にしてしまってごめんな。
How courageous he is. Even after that disaster, he's still concerned about me. I shook my head and put my hands on the floor. I tried to gather up the papers, but then they began to fall. My tears are overflowing again, blurring the ink on those papers. These are all handwritten by grandfather. He was so happy that finally there was someone who understood his research. He was so happy he spent all night writing these. But they stepped on them. They might as well have stepped on my grandfather's very
私
soul.
の研究がまだまだ足りなかったんだ。もっともっと研究を重ねていたならこんなことにはならなかったんだ。ごめんな。おじいちゃんはもっともっと研究を重ねるからな。これくらいのことじゃくじけないからな。
I don't know if he's saying that to me or to
大
himself.
神様は見ておられ、そして自分が評価されることを疑ってはならんのだ。いつか必ずきっとその日まで努力を怠ってはならんのだ。
Grandfather says that all the time, but I know the truth. God only plays with people's fates. He doesn't save anyone out of goodwill. That's why he let this happen to my grandfather, even though he's worked so hard and so humbly until today. That's why he let such a horrible thing happen to me when I was still an innocent little girl. Grandfather keeps repeating himself, but I know the truth. God exists. The existence grandfather believes in is real, but there's no mercy to be found in God. He delivers unreasonable fates and makes us call it a challenge. I can't tell my grandfather that, of course. I ask God once more, like I did on the day of the thunderstorm. Why? Why can't you give my grandfather's efforts and hard work the recognition it deserves? Grandfather told me that he'll gather up the papers, so I should put away the teacups. I nodded silently and put the teacups that hadn't been touched onto the serving cart. As I pushed it out of the study, Grandfather told me to close the door after I leave. I always close the door when I leave. He doesn't need to remind me. But that's what he wants, so without saying anything, I closed the door. Then as I walked away from the study, I heard my grandfather sobbing. Tears filled my eyes once more. Sadness and disappointment, I almost feel angry with myself for not being able to do anything for him. Then I felt a cold breeze on my wet cheeks. The breeze was blowing in from a cracked open window. The curtain was flapping gently in that breeze. I heard the cry of the Higurashi. As I listened to them, I calmed down gradually. If I can ease grandfather's pain by crying, I'll cry in his place. But that won't help. On the contrary, he started to cry because I did. I'm being useless here. I remember that day. I remember the reason why I'm alive now. If he hadn't come and saved me, I would have spent the last days of my life lying in the corner of the bathroom as a human-shaped piece of meat. Grandfather saved me. He gave me back my rights. The right to walk, the right to stand up, the right to wear clothes, the right to eat, the right to speak, and the right to think. In other words, the right to live as a human being. Grandfather took action right after he got the phone call from me. He found my house. And he found out which orphanage I was sent to. After struggling through the sloppily filed records of the public office, then he saved me. Of course, he was working on his research then. He spent his precious research time on saving me, a perfect stranger. I vowed that if his heart failed, I'd rip my heart out and give it to him. But of course, his heart is fine. So he doesn't need a heart. He needs something else that's equally important. That's something only I can give him in this whole world. I clenched my fists and held them so tightly that my nails left marks. I now know what I'm supposed to do with this new life as Mio Takano. I finally know. I know the reason why the new me was born. I know the purpose of Mio Takano.
それは小さな胸に宿る人の命がもしも地球より重いなら
Is it transitioning into the intro?
私の小さな決意は地球よりも重い
This is just a remix of the theme song. I thought I knew of my grandfather's greatness, but I actually didn't know the half of it. For me to be able to really help him, I have to reach his level. All my lessons will lead back to my grandfather. There wasn't a single subject I could ignore. Right now, studying hard is what I can do for him.
教師生活をして長いが、君ほどたゆみなく勉学に勤しんできた生徒は見たことがない。かといって決して勉強のみに視野が狭くなることなく、社交
勤勉なのは勉強することでしか至れない。私社交性をおろそかにしないのは孤独な天才があまりに無力であることを知っているからです。
That's
私
not.
はまだまだ自分の望む姿に至れていないんです。大学に入るのは私にそこで何が学べるかなんです。
I'm not even close. I'm not even close to being able to help my grandfather.
先生は君を教え子に持てたことを誇りに思う。私立だ今の君にとって学ぶに値する学校であるかどうかだけが大事だ。
願いを成就し望む未来を紡ぐ力、紡がれる糸の強さは気高く強き願いは必ず現実となる。
Do I have what I need to be able to truly understand Hinozawa syndrome and help grandfather in his research? I don't need compromise or excuses. The heights I seek are lofty and precipitous. This isn't enough, not even close. My classmates are such idiots, acting as if they're winners in life just because they entered the school. College is simply a place to learn what I need to know. This self-proclaimed best school isn't worth my time. I'm not interested.
まさか最初のあなたが伝染病圏に来られあなたほどの方ならてっきりもっと見栄えのいい
私が学びたいこと研究したいことがで私が今日ここで学べる資格を
そんなことは入学試験を第一位で突破したあなたを拒むはずもありません。
Oh, okay, babe. Hang on, Chad. Give me a second. Okay, what has happened?
ようこそ伝染病研へ。嫌われがちな学問でね、研究者はまだまだ少ない。だから他の学問に比べて未知の分野が多いのです。
That's quite true. The study of parasites is a mysterious world, or rather, it's an ignorant one. An ignorant world where the preconception that parasites can't possibly control humans pervades. And those ignorant people laughed at grandfather and stuffed all over his
伝
article.
染病の世界にはまだまだ解き明かされていない未知があります。私はそれを解くために、それを解こうとする人の力になるためにここまでやってきたのです。実現の約束された
I'm not
願
ending
い、
it.
もはや願いとは呼ばない。
I feel like we're so close to the intro.
それはつまりもはや運命。私が紡ぐのは運命。運命は個人だけじゃなく、人を世界を支配する絶対の力。
Like it's ramping, bro. Oh shit, it's her fucking notebook. Learning isn't enough for me. I have to be able to research with my grandfather. And so I don't ignore the means to gain the help my grandfather couldn't get. Grandfather's research isn't complete just when it's finished being written on the desk. I need the help of plenty of people to present it to the world so his great work will be praised by many.
そうです。
You unlock triple jump later? What the hell? Yes, that's
今回
correct.
は大学院の首席卒業、毎年7人の入会者のみしか認めておりませんので、一般的な同窓会組織と比べると小規模ですが、
そのような会へお誘いいただき、とても私ごときでよろしければ。
いえいえ、あなたほどの実績と経歴を先輩方もあなたを会の名簿には現役大臣、高級官、彼らはあなたを必要とし、あなたが必要とする協力を与えるでしょう。
小泉先生もこの会、私の祖父の親友だ。まさか。
そうでしたか。
Yeah, what a coincidence, fucking Takano. You know what you did.
きっと小泉先生もあなたの入会を歓迎されることでしょう。
An isolated genius is a useless one. People live in society. Society is made up of connections between people. Nobody can ignore that. I do my best as an individual. But to gain power that can't be achieved as a mere individual, I have to rely on my connections to society. It's all for one purpose. My only wish is Mio Takano. Yes, I can't spare any effort.
私の絶対の意志が絶対の未来を紡ぎ出す。誰にも邪魔できない。誰にも覆せない。サイコロの1なんて認めない。けなげな努力が偶然の事故だけで打ち消されるなんて認めない。すべてのサイコロを6にしてやる。
Oh, she's talking just like fucking Rika.
サイコロを神になんか委ねない。不運になんか委ねない。神に祈るのは自らに努力を尽くさぬ愚かも。私は神などに委ねない。すべての結果は私が紡ぎ出す。私の強固な意志が神にさえ介在できない絶対の未来を作り出す。それは祖父が教えてくれた神になる方法とは違う。それは生きながらにして神に至る方法。それに気づいた時、私はようやく解放される。それは両親を失った時の悲しい記憶、その後の辛い生活、そして論文を踏みにじられた時に見せた祖父の
Dog
涙。
is just staring at me.
そう、私は神の域を超えるのだ。神の気まぐれなどに負けない存在に。祖父の研究を認めさせてやる。それは私が望む未来。
Yeah, Takano, I'm sure your grandfather wanted you to mutilate children.
人々が祖父の論文を奪い合って読み合う。
Grandfather's proud. Big W's.
かつてないがしろにされ踏みにじられたその論文をうやうやしく手に取って読むのだ。たとえその日を待たずに祖父に死が訪れたとして、その程度の運命に私が泣くことなどないのだ。だって祖父はすでに私に教えてくれている。たとえ死んでどちらに埋められた身であっても、
The big loud boom and then the Higurashi logo to come up.
私が祖父の偉業を完成させ、世界中が祖父を称える。その時、祖父は復活を遂げ、神となり、永遠となる。それは永遠の絆。 どんな交通事故でもちぎれない。神がいくらサイコロの1を並べようとも、両親を事故で失った日から私の人生は全てサイコロの1だった。でも私はそれに負けず、ここサイコロの目など、サイコロの目は私が決める。運命すらも
Hurry up! Takano, like, let's think of your background, man. Can we get to the cool characters?
くじ
You
けぬ
bitch.
絶対の意志で。
We're in Hinamizawa.
診療所はいつ開くんかいね。クーラーがついてるとええの。来月にゃしたら若い先生だとええの。
I heard some old ladies talking amongst themselves when I was going up the stairs to the shrine. The idiot clinic is almost already completed and it's waiting and ready for opening day. The state-of-art equipment has been delivered and the research is waiting to begin as well. 88 too is standing in top form and he's almost as passionate as I am about Hinamizawa syndrome. The mountain dogs, the counterintelligence unit to support and protect our research, are already stationed at a dummy company somewhere near Okinomiya. They are getting in touch with various public institutions. Everything is going well. The only thing to worry about would be the rumors about the Hinamizawa dam construction plans. There's a rumor that the Ministry of Construction is pushing through a dam project that will submerge all of Hinamizawa, but they're under pressure from several groups. Wait! So maybe the motherfuckers who kidnapped the fucking son of the Ministry of Construction was actually just the fucking mountain dogs. Ah... None of my contacts have much influence in the Ministry of Construction, so things aren't going well. Even if applying pressure doesn't work, there are other measures. So either way, it'll come to a deadlock. I'm not being optimistic, I just know that's how it'll end. I'll conduct research here in Hinazawa. I'm going to accomplish that with my absolute will. That's why even if God rolls a 1 on the die and says that he's going to submerge Hinazawa, I will not be afraid. I won't entrust my die to God. I'm the one who's going to pick up the die and I'm going to roll a 6. I didn't come to this shrine to declare war on the gods of this place. I came because I know that you can get a great view from up here. I walked by the shrine and headed to the spot I found last time I visited. It's a perfect spot for overlooking the entire village. The strong wind reminds me that I'm only at the starting line, and that there will be a headwind before I reach my goal. I looked over the village without faltering in the wind. Grandfather approached the syndrome from a medical point of view, but he also approached it from a folkloric one as well. Strange belief system in this village is proof that the existence of Hinazawa syndrome was already known of even in ancient times, so it'll be extremely useful to research your history too. My grandfather hadn't been doing research for hundreds of years, of course, but this place has been here for hundreds of years and they've been living with Hinazawa syndrome for that long. Therefore, the belief created in this place and the legend itself can be considered to foremost researchers. It's simply stupid to just call them old folktales or nonsense. I've been researching them slowly, but they are indeed very interesting. No wonder grandfather was intrigued by them. Hinazawa syndrome has many fascinating sides to it. It's just like a kaleidoscope showing infinite light with ever a slight change in angle. It's so much fun to trace grandfather's research. Finding the same result as my grandfather reminds me that I am indeed following in his footsteps, which makes me very happy. The shrine is dedicated to Oishiro-sama, the guardian deity of this village. But this god the villagers worship is simply a delusion that was created by the parasites. When I solve their secret and announce it to the world, the god of this place will be no more. That's the moment I will take revenge on the one who put me through misery and tested my fate. That's it, isn't it? This isn't just about making my grandfather's dream come true. It's also about getting revenge for my miserable life. I went back to the front of the shrine. There's an offertory box there and I'm tempted to throw in some coins. But you normally offer coins to ask for mercy. I don't entrust my fate to God, so I don't need to give an offering. I'm going to unmask him. But until then, Oishiro-sama is a god. Okay, in that case, I'll show respect for now. Hee hee hee. As a declaration of war, I pulled out a 10 yen coin from my wallet. The 10 yen coin I found in the telephone booth changed my life. If it hadn't been there, my life would have ended then.
あの1枚の10円玉に関してだけは
I'm not grateful to the god of the shrine, though.
でもね、あの程度で私はあなたを許したつもりなんてない。そして私はあなたのご利益なんか期待せず、今後あなたがどんな理不尽な運命を与えようとも、そんなものにはびくと私は 私の理想を勝ち取ってみせる。
My grandfather will be praised and become a god because of the research I'll do in this place. I will defeat the god of this village and become an existence above even
いつから
gods.
私は神という言葉にこだわるようになったのかしらね。祖父がいつも神様を引用した話ばかりするからかしら。
Here, this is the 10 yen coin you gave me before. My debt's paid off now. You just keep clinging to your throne and tormenting people with your trials, while I fight my battles to knock you down from there. And so I chucked the 10 yen I once borrowed from God into the offertory box. For a moment, I couldn't understand what happened. The 10 yen coin was supposed to fall into the offering box, but how can I explain this? That's not what happened. I aimed correctly for certain. Who could miss an offertory box anyway? That's not it. Because the 10 yen coin stopped in midair, as if it got stuck in a spider web. Then it bounced back to me and fell by my feet. It was as though the offertory box had refused the coin. Oh shit. Of course, an offertory box is to respect God, but what I did was challenge him. That means this is... I jumped, because I thought I was the only one here. Anyone would jump when finding there's someone else standing there unexpectedly. How long has she been there? What the fuck? Takano can see? Hanyu? It's like she came out from the shrine. A mysterious girl is standing there, standing on the other side of the offering box. She's wearing a shrine maiden uniform, so she must be one of the caretakers here. That's what I thought too, but there's something else about her. She's not just one of the shrine caretakers, she's the shrine itself. Because the girl is staring into my eyes. No, she's glaring. I smiled back fearlessly. I think she heard my words of challenge to God. She's wearing that expression on her face because of that. The words came out
あ
naturally.
なた、ここの神様ね。
The girl didn't nod, but I took that as a yes. What a contradictory feeling. I'm rejecting the god of this land, denying his very existence, yet I don't doubt this girl is that god. The girl opened her mouth to speak.
強い意志は運命を強固にします。
そうよ。
That's what I say to myself often. I've never said that to anyone or quoted it or anything. So under normal circumstances, I should be surprised to hear this girl say that. This girl isn't human, so I'm not surprised. I replied to her.
そのデメで人間をもてあそぶ。でも人間には意志の力が、その力が強ければ強いほど最高。わかる？人は極限まで努力を積み重ねることで、誰にもくじかれることのないくらい強固な意志を持つこと。
はい。よくわかりますのです。揺るがない信じる力はどんな運命も。
そうよ。それはつまりサイコロにてもてあそぶ神が神々の干渉を排して自ら運命を切り開く人間の参加。どんな不運にも耐え今日も努力で獲得した私の神々しさを知りなさい。
Spiteful laughter flowed out of my mouth, but the girl's face displayed a strong will of her own. Her expression didn't even change a bit.
僕はようやくわかりましたのです。何度繰り返しても決して覆せぬこの運命はあなたの強固な意志の力よ。
そうよ。強い意志は運命を強固にする。鋼のように鍛えられた運命はいかそれはすなわち絶対の未来。
それを幾百年を生きる僕たちでなく認めますです。あなたは限りなく神に近い場所にいる。
Yo, stop fucking boosting her ego, Hanyu, you idiot. Girl glared at me with her eyes half shut. No, it was more like she was proclaiming something to me while displaying her own strong willpower.
僕はあなたに負けない。
Oh wait, is Hanyu locked in this
か
time?
つて僕たちはどう戦ってもあなたに勝てないと思った。だから僕はあなたに
Wait,
屈した。
Hanyu's locking in?
地に落ち輪廻の中を這いずりながら見ても信じる力が運命を切り開く奇跡を起こすと。
But Hanyu can't go back this far. Maybe this isn't the way in the past. I mean, we're assuming this is a new cycle and not just
私の強い意志が作り出す運命、あなたの強い意志がそれを打ち破る奇跡。
Because that's the law of this world. A strong will can make a desired future
僕
possible.
たちはあなたの意志の強さに負けないのです。
She said we.
神の座に執着するのも大いに結構。あなたの意志が私の意志に勝てるか。試して
Hello,
も
babe.
神は人を試すが、人が神を試してはならない不条理。だからあえてあなたを試してあげるわ。お前の意志の強さが私の意志の強さに勝てるかどうかを試してごらんなさい。
That's clearly a declaration of war from me to God. This is the beginning of my revenge towards God who put me through so much misery. And this girl, this God, is accepting my challenge directly.
僕はあなたに比べて
Oh
あ
shit,
まりに
angry
響きだけれど
Hanyu.
も、あなたに比べてあまりにできることが少ない。たとえ僕の意志の強さがあなたに及んだとしても。
そうね、私は圧倒的な力を得たわ。その力を得るために今日は貴様ごとき小娘では私に指一本触れることもかなわないでしょうね。
分かってる。あなたの兄弟さは分かっ。それに比べて私や私の仲間たちの力でも三途の河原で永遠に石を積み続けるように、気が遠くなるほどの長い時間あなたに屈しないことで、そして河原に石が積み上がった時、私たちはその川を越えることができ、その時こそこの長きにわたる運命の戦いに
ならば結構、どちらの思いが強いか。強かった方が未来を作る。強かった方の望んだ未来が訪れる。私は私の未来を一歩も譲らない。その未来では祖父の偉業は称えられ神となり、かつて私を不幸にて試すような真似をした神に対して復讐をする。
Hee, ah ha ha ha. Stupid little God, I'll show you.
貴様、神の座から引きずり下ろしてやる。
Oh, Takano never made this face before either.
かか
Oh
ってこい
shit.
この
Oh, what the hell? She kind of looks scary. Damn. Intro? Chapter 8, Matsuribayashi. Fun fact, we are like 3 hours into this fucking game, we still don't have a fucking intro. A new song! Jesus Christ, it wouldn't be a Higurashi intro unless it blasted our ears. What? What was that? Oishi! Whoa! What's the new art style? What the fuck are these people? Oh shit! Takano was bloody! Rika's falling off a cliff! Rika with a sword? Yo, the Sonozaki house was burning! What the hell's happening? Oh shit, bro, what was that? Yo, Hanyu, I think Hanyu is locking in. Holy shit. Okay, damn. Yo, that intro song was actually pretty fucking good too. Okay. Well, chat, that's where we gotta leave off for today. Yes, sir. Pretty fucking good if I do say so myself. Maybe we are finally getting to peak. God damn. Alrighty. Enjoy your Valentine's Day. Thank you. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your day as well. I will see y'all tomorrow. Good night, everybody. I can't believe we're still listening to fucking Team Tomodachi in 2026, but... Shut the fuck up! What the hell? Motherfuckers. Alright, chat. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Jake is playing Infinity Nikki. I'll send you guys over there. Oh, he's got the Nikki sponsor as well. I think he's got the same Nikki sponsor I did. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Good night, everybody. Shut your bitch ass up. Don't you start barking, motherfucker. No. No. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye. Yeah. Bye.